All right, let's talk about how to get some really nice renders out of Substance. So this is looking pretty good, and I want to create some renders now. And we can do that directly here. We don't have to go back to Cinema 4D. For some nice looking stills, we can do that right here. And let's come over here, and this guy allows us to enter the render mode. So I'm going to go ahead and click that so it opens everything up. And here we are. So this is iRay. That's what's rendering it right now. It's the name of the renderer that renders this. And you can see it's physically accurate, which is, you can see it computing in real time. As you move it around, it gets grainy, and then it sort of resolves itself in really, really high quality. Let's do a couple things. We don't want our mixer to be in the middle of a field. That's weird. So let's go to display settings and pick a different panorama. So I'm going to pick a studio, maybe like that. There we go, like that. Environment rotation. Let's sort of find a rotation where we're getting, yeah, I like that, because we're starting to get that like highlight over here. That looks nice. Cool. And then we want the background to be a solid color. And so if we scroll down here under, yeah, clear color, we'll get rid of the background and just have one color. And maybe lighten that up a touch, right? Depending on what color you chose for your, yeah, this is a little flat over here. I wish we had more information. Let's try a different one. Again, find something that works for you. Let's look at that one. That's better. It's giving us a little bit more over there. That's a little too strong. Like that. That gives us a little bit more. Let's rotate that one around. Get some different looks. There we go. That's kind of dramatic there. I like that. Need a little bit more front side. There we go. So we get that popping out. Nice. Okay, this is looking like a pretty good product shot. Great. So now you can, all the controls are the same. You see it resolving pretty well. Let's go ahead and go to shader settings. And we have the mixer shader here. We want to grab the other shader. All right, so let's step back a second here with the, in order to adjust the shader, you need to make sure that you have it selected here. So let's go to bowl, and now if I come over here, we get the bowl shader settings. Under shader settings, there's bowl. And so the things that we want to have a bunch of is refraction and index of refraction, IOR. So turning both of those up, not that or that. So that's good. Let's go ahead and look at some of the settings here we need for that. And so with this selected, we want your base color to make sure you're at 100% white. I add a little bit of 3D simplex noise to the height. And in the height layer, I dialed this way down just to give it a little bit of waviness. You see, if you give it too much, it's way too much there. Just a little bit, right about there maybe. And then in the height, maybe take the scale and move it so it's just a little bit. There we go. And now let's go back to base color. Come back here. And so the height has a little bit of noise on it. The roughness I dialed down, so I get it very reflective. The metallic I dialed up, so I get it reflective. Right, this is the roughness. If I dialed up, it would be dull. And just dial that down. Normal is as is. Opacity. Let's see. Let's make it pretty. That's going to be solid, and that's going to be completely invisible. And so right about there. And now if we come back and look at this, there we go. Nice. We're getting refraction happening in the bowl, which looks really good. Great. And so now let's go ahead and make some renders of this. Once we have that set up, go back to display settings, and over here we can adjust the focal length of the lens right? And so I'm going to go ahead and say, let's put it at 55. There we go. And zoom out a little bit now. The other way. There we go. That gives us a nice, you get this look in there. And so let's come over to render settings. And, or here, render settings. Environment, camera, viewport, render. We want to use our 1920 by 1080 and override, so we get there we go. That's a good look at the frame. Right about like that. Kind of balanced. Maybe engaging a little bit of the frame. There we go. And there we go. I'm going to go ahead and save this one as, we'll call this Farina Mixer 1. Save that one. By default, we are saving, let's see here. Yeah, it does have a JPEG. Cool. And let's go ahead and do some other views of it. There we go. Well, if I hold my middle mouse button, sometimes I get some weird results from Substance Painter. Kind of like so. There we go. Like that. Looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and save that one. Call this Farina Mixer 2. Let's do a very isometric version. So I'm going to come in here to the camera and let's give it a really long focal length. So let's say maybe 140 under focal length. There we go. And zoom out this way. There we go. And make that sort of more style. My mouse is freaking out. Let's try this again. There we go. It's got way too zoomed in. Let's make it a little bit more artistic, but still having the name in there. Cool. I like that. Let's make one of those. Come back over here. And we'll call this Farina Mixer 3. Nice. And let's make a really wide angle one. And so I can come in here. Let's make it maybe 24 millimeters. There we go. And it'll really give it like more of a sense of scale. There we go. Kind of our muscle car mixer shot. I like that. And cool. Let's save this one as Farina Mixer 4. Cool. And I'll post all of these on, you should post all of them on Slack, right? Come out here, make sure that you go ahead and save this for sure. And we're going to go ahead and make sure that this is, we'll export it so we can bring it back and put it in our kitchen. But we've got a pretty good setup there. We've got a couple good images. All right, going through Substance Painter. You made it.